Calipari's second trip to the Final Four. He took UMass there in 1996. I'm joined now by our good pal, former NBA star and our college basketball analyst, Brian Rowsom. Brian Rowsom. Brian Wilson saying surfer girl, of course. Always good to see you. There's a lot of things I want to talk to you about, but the first thing I want to talk to you about, we all watched Stephen Curry tonight. I almost say we all were pulling for Davidson, but you know, it's Cinderella. How long have you known Stephen Curry?
I played with his father, Dale, with the Hornets, Bruce, back in the early 90s. Stephen and Dale and I, we all lived next to each other. So I've known him since he was a little kid, and all he did was just bounce a ball around. And in fact, back in the mid-90s with the Hornets, he used to perform at the Charlotte Hornets basketball games at halftime with dribbling exhibitions and things like that. So to see him doing what he's doing today, I feel like a proud uncle.
Tell me the truth. Did you teach him that three-point shot?
Absolutely not. Yeah. I sure didn't, Bruce. I was 2 for 3 in my NBA career, though. But Stephen, he'll shoot 3 in a matter of a minute, you know, so obviously not.
2 for 3 is a pretty good number. I'll take it.
Luckily.
All right, let's talk about the Final Four here. North Carolina, as we mentioned a minute ago, just been buzzsaw on everybody. Are they the favorite, in your opinion?
Without question, they have to be, Bruce, because they, I just heard on the radio tonight on my drive over here, was that they are one of the 3 teams that have beaten all 4 opponents going into the Final Four by 10 points or more. The other 2 are UConn and Michigan State in 2000, and both of those teams won the national championship. They look unbeatable almost, but at the same time, they're going to catch a different opponent in Kansas this weekend, and so it should make for a good matchup because Kansas is very athletic and versatile.
And I bet there's a lot of people in Kansas that are really going to be rooting against Roy Williams.
Oh, without question. You know, that's going to make for another storyline in itself. And to see Kansas and North Carolina go at it, you have 2 of the best basketball traditions in the country head-to-head.
Let's talk about Memphis a little bit. We just heard them talking about respect or the lack thereof. This is motivating them right now.
Oh, without question. And John Calipari, he'll have them fired up and ready to play because, you know, Memphis is one of those teams that's been one of the top teams all season long. But, of course, they come from the Conference USA, so a lot of people don't feel like they're worthy of the ranking that they've gotten. You know, anybody that comes from the East Coast, and, you know, we're biased to ACC and other conferences, we, you know, tend to back off those teams like Memphis and UCLA. But Memphis is a very athletic team, and when they're on, like they have been the last 2 nights, they're tough to beat.
Do you think some people across the country got their eyes open today by what they were able to do?
Without question, because they surprised me, Bruce, by playing great defense, and that's what leads out to their transition and fast break style of play.
All right, I'm not going to pressure for your picks, but, you know, it's going to be an exciting weekend. And we look forward to seeing you.
Absolutely, Bruce. Thank you.
Brian Rowsom, Amy, to you. I am joined right now by our college basketball analyst, former NBA star Brian Rowsom. Kansas and Memphis. I don't know that a lot of people were looking for this matchup.
Yeah, it's a great matchup, Bruce. I think you have 2 athletic teams here. I look for a high-scoring game tomorrow night because you have so many good athletes on both sides of the court. Kansas, obviously, is led by Brandon Rush. He had a great game last night against North Carolina. The point guards are very good. Mario Chalmers and Derrick Rose, of course, for Memphis. So it should be an exciting matchup, and I think a high-scoring game.
And we were talking earlier, I don't think it's the one that the networks wanted to see.
Yeah, you know, North Carolina and UCLA, they have that long tradition, Bruce, as we know. UCLA's won 10 national championships. North Carolina is always in the hunt for a national title. But again, I think it bodes well for all the other teams out there that are trying to get to that elite status because Memphis and Kansas are teams that have been knocking on the door, so to speak, the last few years, and now they've finally broken through and gotten to the championship game.
Who do you see winning this game?
Boy, I'm going to go with Kansas only because I chose them at the beginning of the tournament, but I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think Kansas has the edge in free-throw shooting, and I think that may come back to bite Memphis tomorrow night. I'm saying 84-81 Kansas.
84-81 Kansas. Now, getting back to Memphis. Joey Dorsey, a lot of people know, went to Douglas High School right here in Baltimore. He's a big guy like you were when you played. Tell me about him.
He's very strong, 6'9", 260 pounds, very athletic. He's a beast on the boards. He kind of reminds me of a Ben Wallace type player, Bruce, where he won't score a lot of points, but he'll do a lot of the dirty work for you, rebounding, playing good defense. He's one of those guys that was on Kevin Love a little bit last night and helped frustrate him a little bit. So Dorsey is one of those guys that I think can play at the next level as a good role player for an NBA team.
How big is this for Memphis as far as Conference USA and all that goes?
It will, you know, obviously do a great job as far as recruiting and then also putting some of those mid-major conferences on the map. You know, we always talk about that, Bruce, with our alumnus schools in UNC Wilmington, VCU being one of those mid-major conferences. But if Memphis is able to win the national title, it will just elevate the status of some of those mid-major conferences.
But according to Brian Rowsom, they will not.
I don't think so. I think Kansas will win and it'll come down to free throws.